Barb Gully of Barb's Tea Service, and we are back in the studio for our podcast, courtesy On TV Studios.
Very good.
And I'm here, as always, with studio engineer, co-host, and arm candy, Chris Gully.
Here I am.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. What's going on?
Well, it's podcast 38.
Yes.
Exciting. But just so happens we're in the studio, and it's my birthday.
It is your birthday.
I know.
How fun.
It is. So we're going to do some special things for that. So I want to also give a shout out to my birthday twin.
Yes.
BTS team member, Pam.
Okay.
We share the same birthday, and we're doing something special this weekend.
Wow.
To celebrate, as we usually do.
Yes.
Not going to Europe.
No.
But we've dialed it back a little bit.
Very good.
And so what I thought would be fun
Yes.
on this podcast is to talk about some of my favorite things.
I think we usually do that, don't we?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So not too much different than our other
No
podcasts.
surprises here.
No surprises.
Right.
But I thought we'd talk about some of the fun things that we've been up to.
Right.
Being tourists in our own city, kind of do a recap on quilting and British aristocracy, chocolate, all the things I am fun.
Okay.
I love and I find them fun.
And you love talking about them.
I do love
All right.
talking about them. So today we always have an ambitious agenda.
Right.
But today we're hoping to cover the following.
Okay.
Michigan Grand Central.
No.
Michigan Central Station.
It's an easy mistake to make
It
because
is.
of the history.
Right. There is a tie-in.
Right.
Talk about, this is sort of a follow-up from our last podcast. We're going to talk about the quilt show.
Yes.
And we'll talk about chocolate.
Love it.
And an update on the Lords of England.
Uh-huh.
Something I think you have a connection to.
I do. Yes. Of course I do.
And then a soup song of Zsa Zsa.
Interesting.
But
right.
first, tea. Oh.
All right. Here we go.
It's time.
So you're going to introduce us?
So, yes. So this is True Blue Oolong from Hershey Teas.
All right.
This was an early birthday present from Matt and Jenna. It just came in the mail yesterday, so we're excited to try this brand new.
Okay.
And I'm going to show to the camera.
Yes. Interesting color.
It's a blue.
Oh, that is, that's really good.
It's
a very light, I'd say floral.
Definitely.
Perfumey, but not in a bad way. Just kind of a light taste to it.
Right.
And a bit of citrus, perhaps.
Okay, you're getting there.
All right.
Butterfly pea flowers.
Okay.
Lemon peel, apple pieces.
Okay.
Blueberries, and lemon and vanilla flavors.
Okay.
And this is, again, all based on an oolong tea.
Very good.
So this was the winner, the 2024 winner of the customer blending contest that Hershey holds.
Okay.
Yeah, a user put this
All
in
right.
there, and it is. It's really good. And Matt and Jenna had tried it in the Manhattan store,
Okay.
the Hershey store, and they thought we'd really like it.
Great.
And I really do like this. Very kind of refreshing.
Yes. Yep.
And I want to keep this in mind for next fall when we do a Detroit Lions themed afternoon tea.
Excellent.
Would
okay.
that be perfect?
Oh.
And if
Which
you
will
want,
be here on us before we know it.
right. And if you want to just do a quick cut
Oh, yeah.
to camera 3, we'll show the packaging.
All right. All right. It's up.
Okay, great. So that's the packaging. We showed the color, and I put it in these. I served them up in, again, if you want to show us
Okay.
get back to us.
All right. Okay,
And
we're there.
That beautiful blue color. I'm
Yes.
using your glass tea cups that you got me
Yes.
for Christmas.
Very
and
good.
Nice way to use them.
Okay.
All right. So, cheers to all today who are celebrating a birthday or this month or this year.
Very good.
Hello. Okay. So, moving on.
All right.
Let's talk about some of the goals that we had for this year.
Yes.
And one of them we've repeated is the visits to presidential homes and libraries.
Yes.
And we already in April have doubled our goal.
We've done a few.
We set a goal of 2.
Yep.
We've done 4. It's only April.
I know.
So, yeah.
Watch out. Watch out, presidential libraries. Here we come. We're coming for you. All right.
And then another thing we wanted to do was be tourists in our own
Yes.
town.
Yes.
Take advantage of all the history and amazing things
Yep.
that are going on in Detroit.
And it's cheaper.
It really is. And we did that earlier. Actually, at the end of last year, we went down to the Fisher Building and
Right.
the Peacock store, and
Right.
we walked around there, Peacock Room. And recently, we went on a tour
Right.
of the Michigan Central Station.
Very kindly set up by our friends.
Yes, yes. So Rick and Carol, thank you. They are friends and special guests of Barbs
Right.
Tea Services podcast,
Uh-huh.
and they put this together, and it was really quite a treat.
Yeah, it was.
right.
Yeah.
So this was I think for most of our adult life,
Yes.
that Michigan Central Station was just
It was kind of the eyesore
It-
of Corktown, right?
right, and it was just this sort of I call it this billboard
Yeah.
of decay.
Right.
It was
Right.
depressing.
Yeah, I know.
But with the help of Ford Motor Company
Right.
and a ton of craftspeople, they
Yep.
restored it.
Yes.
And the grand opening was last June.
Right.
And so we're still within a year of its opening to the
Right.
public, and we got to tour it. And before we talk about our impressions of the tour,
Right.
I thought we'd share a little bit of history.
Okay.
Okay, so the Michigan Central Railroad
Mhm.
was a subsidiary of the New York Central Railroad.
Okay. Back in the day.
Right. Owned by
Yes.
William Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Bingo card. That's
Right.
Gilded Age.
All right.
Uh-huh.
There we are.
Okay. So from 1884 to 1913,
Right.
the Michigan Central Railroad ran into a depot in Detroit.
Right. Got a little small for all the traffic that
Right.
was happening. Detroit's becoming a major manufacturing hub, and they needed a bigger space.
They absolutely did. So they found a better, more convenient location in Corktown.
Right.
And that's where it still stands today.
Right.
And the same architectural firms, they paired up these two different architectural firms, the same guys or team
Yeah.
that put the New York
Grand Central
Central
Right.
Station were hired to do Michigan
Yes.
Central Station.
Yeah.
And you can see
Yeah.
just how, they captured that opulence.
It was large scale. It was just huge scale building.
And it was meant to impress.
Right.
They're using the marble floors, the bronze chandeliers.
Right.
And it was also reflecting kind of that growing status of Detroit, being prosperous, etc. So it came to be at the location where it is in Corktown, as I mentioned. And the final product is an 18-story office tower
Right.
and a 3-story train depot.
Yes.
And it was the tallest railroad station at the time globally.
Yes.
But it came with an out-of-this-world cost
Yes.
of just shy of $80 million.
Yeah. It's well, that's when 80 million was real money.
Well, at 80 million, I should say in today's dollars.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
Okay. And you know what? That is just 10 million less
Right.
than what the Ford Motor Company paid the Maroon family
Right. Yeah.
in 2018.
Right.
And though that Maroon family had bought it in
Yep.
the 1990s when it went default on taxes.
Right. Right.
Ugh.
Yep.
All right. So we also have a personal connection
Yes.
to the station.
The reconstruction you talk about your brother Ed.
Yes.
Yep.
So-
So he was hired on as a project manager to. So his technical professional specialty is something called digital asset management, and basically it's searchable images, and so he was a very key part of that for that project, and I think he really enjoyed it quite a bit.
Definitely.
And, so basically these are all of the artifacts and objects of interest that were found and had to be electronically cataloged and searchable. So there it is.
Right. And we got to see many of those
Right.
objects. So, hey, thanks,
Yeah.
Ed.
Yeah.
for keeping that together.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went on this 90-minute tour.
Right.
Pretty fast-paced, well-paced, I would
Right.
say. And we in the tour we covered the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
the waiting room,
Yes.
and which they've removed all the benches
Right.
so that they can have it for
They
events.
left what was the word for a ghost outline
Yes,
of
right.
where the benches physically
Right.
sat. Yeah.
And we did get to see the ticket office, which now
Yeah.
is a the door to the gift shop.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Love the gift
right.
shop. And then the men's lounge.
Right. Yeah.
Incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, very opulent and very Gilded Age.
Yes.
Looking. Yep.
Right.
Which is so there wasn't much. There's just a few things left of it, and that was an area that was probably 95% reconstructed based on photographs and findings and things like that. And
Right.
so it just gives you a little taste of kind of what it was like to, they had a separate men's waiting area and a separate woman's at the other end.
Right. Which
it was so weird.
it is. But not only that, they were separated, but
Right.
we're told, I mean, it's not currently open to the public,
Right.
but it wasn't quite as fancy.
The woman's waiting room.
The
Right.
ladies' lounge.
Right.
From
Right.
on the other side of the waiting room, I should say. So it wasn't quite as fancy as
Right.
the gentleman's one. So the gentleman's lounge has mahogany paneling,
Yes.
a lot of ornamentation.
Right.
They have the acorns and oak leaves that were symbols of the Vanderbilt.
Right. Uh-huh.
And then they also had this different ornamentation. I don't want to really describe it because I don't want to give too much away.
Yes. Oh,
But
because it's a trivia question on the tour. So
it is.
Yeah.
And in our group,
Yes.
Carol was the one who correctly named it.
Yes.
Our tour guy was so impressed because he said in the almost year he's been doing tours,
Yep.
he's only the second person who
Yeah.
knew it was correct.
All right.
So she got a nice little prize.
Good for her.
It was. Okay. And then our tour guide told us that the total restoration came to I'm going to do my Dr. Evil
Oh.
from Austin Powers.
Yes.
$1 billion.
You nailed it. Very good.
Anyway, it was $1 billion. And you know what? It isn't all that surprising.
No.
Because unlike doing, a new build.
Right.
Or something maybe like Notre Dame, it was mentioned
Yeah.
that cost, $700 million?
Right.
But the labor's a little more expensive here. But also, it was taken care of pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
This thing had sit derelict for years.
The tour guide said, I guess not once but twice the basement had to be pumped out. So
Right.
So yeah, things like that will tend to add to costs.
Right. So of course.
Yeah.
And they did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what a comeback story.
It is. Yes.
And it'll have us coming back.
All right. Oh, nice one.
I
Okay,
think
very
so.
good.
Okay. All right. So then we did pack a lot into the last few weeks.
Uh-huh.
As we talked in the podcast last week, Kara and I were going to a quilt show.
Yes.
And the quilt show was held by Cameo Quilt Guild.
Right.
And one of the members and one of the hosts at the show was Judy Murray. And this is our son-in-law's grandmother.
Yes. And they do this once every couple of years, I think.
Right. And it's fun to go. Judy's an excellent quilter, and Kara is too.
Right.
And so we like to go and get inspiration from this, which we did.
Right.
And Kara's going to take some of your grandmother's quilts.
Yes.
That are kind of not maybe totally in great shape, but there's patches.
Right. Yeah. It's quite old and
Right.
is well traveled. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And she's going to put them in little shadow boxes with provenance
Yep.
and give it out to the family.
Nice. I love it.
I love that too.
Right.
And it also inspired me to get out the one and only quilt I ever made.
Okay.
When Kara and I took that quilting class.
Yes.
And I gave it a nice little refresh, little delicate wash. And it is now in the guest bedroom.
Yes.
And the part that I did mostly is folded over.
All right.
So we can, the slanty side.
Okay.
But I love it. Anyway, we're going to be doing a blog quilt soon.
Okay.
And it's going to feature some from Kara, some from Judy,
Right.
and my good friend Barb T.
Right.
She's done over 70, and she
Right.
sent a bunch of pictures. So I'm going to share that, and I'm real excited about
Great.
that. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, love quilts,
Yes.
love chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
So, we were talking about chocolate and tea in previous podcasts.
Right.
And we do chocolate and tea pairings. And when we do these, Barb's Tea Service does that. This is one of our programs that
Right.
we offer.
Yeah.
And what we do this, like any kind of food and beverage pairing, you're trying to get the best out of both. when you
Yes.
Put them together. We had a really fun one at the Chesterfield Township Library in February.
You will? Mm-hmm.
And we booked another one out in Ann Arbor in May.
Nice.
So another fun one.
All right.
But, and I should say, we've also talked about chocolate in Europe. We talked about its travels.
Right.
And how it made it to the French and English royals,
Right.
the court,
Right.
to Versailles, and to Hampton Court Palace.
That's right.
There during the Georgian times, when
Right.
the King Georges were
Right.
in Hampton Court Palace, they actually had a chocolate kitchen.
Yes.
Which we visited in 2015.
We saw that. Yes. Yeah.
And we met the food historian, and we've been to Versailles. But what about chocolate in the U.S.?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. So there's a series that I absolutely love
Yes.
on the History Channel.
Right.
It's called Food That Built America.
We love it.
Oh, I love it.
They're basically very long commercials, but that's okay.
Yes. You always are hungry
Yeah.
while watching these. But they've been going on since 2019. And they're just wrapping up season 6.
Yes.
We saw the episode on the other dark drink,
Oh, yes.
coffee.
Okay. That's all right. That's okay.
But they did an episode in 2020 about chocolate.
Right.
And it was about the story of Hershey and Mars.
Yes.
And what is so riveting about these
Right.
History Channel episodes is that, you forget that these products that you take for granted
Yeah.
had to be
They've
great.
always been there, and they must have always existed, right?
Right.
But no, someone had to invent it, package it, market it, sell it, get acceptance, and here we are.
Right.
Other than that,
Right. We just, you can get the stuff at the convenience store.
Right.
You don't even think twice.
Right.
But it's funny because a lot of these brand names still carry the surnames of their creators.
right.
Like Folgers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we see with Hershey's and Mars.
Right.
And the setup of the series is they intermix these recreations
Right.
of back in time. They have actors do
Right.
the story
Reenactments, yeah.
reenactments of being in the kitchen
Yeah.
or
Stroking their chin there. That happens a lot. while they're shoving something in their mouth, going,
I know I've always thought
this'll sell great.
I always thought, oh, that would be a great job
Yes.
for an actor or actress because I could do that. I don't
Yeah.
have any acting chops, but I could put a spoon up to my mouth and taste a little chocolate.
Yeah. Okay.
Stroke my chin.
All right. Agents, if you're out there, you're on notice. All right.
So they do these, and then they switch back to experts in these fields.
Right.
Food historians,
Right.
authors.
Right.
And this is where I met the author of this book.
Okay. Oh, we're going to switch cameras.
I'm going to switch
All right.
cameras if I can.
All right. There you go. All right. It's on.
Okay.
A lot of chocolate kisses there.
Yes. So this is a book by Joel Glenn Brenner.
Okay.
And it is The Emperors of Chocolate.
All right.
And she was one of the experts that they interviewed during this program.
Yeah.
And she was a writer for the Wall Street Journal.
Okay. Should I
Oh,
take it?
no. She was Washington Post.
All right.
Sorry.
Should I take it back?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Get back to
Okay.
me.
We're back. Okay.
While I say the correct
Okay. All right.
media
Here we go.
was Washington Post. And she was sent to do an investigative report. This was 1989.
Right.
On Mars because Hershey's had just surpassed them.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah.
As the #1 candy maker.
Right.
And they wanted to get their reaction.
Sure.
And what she found was this Mars family business was as tight as more lockdown than any government agency.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It was. And she was tenacious.
Yeah.
And it paid off. They said, okay, come on in. And she did a warts and all article.
Right.
That did not go too well with the family.
Nah.
And they did shut the door to any future journalists to come in.
All right.
Okay. But she also found when she was doing research is that actually Hershey's and Mars worked together early on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happier days.
Happier times.
Yeah.
And so Hershey's big thing was trying to get the perfect milk chocolate.
Right.
But another really fun part, one of my favorite.
Sorry.
Getting a time check here. Thanks.
Yeah.
So one of the best chapters is on this marketing mishap or genius, if you will.
Right.
So there's a lot devoted to in the series about how they're trying to make Reese's Pieces.
Right.
So Hershey's is trying to do it, and it's not that easy.
No,
you know? You've
no.
got this soft center,
Right.
and you've got the hard shell,
uh-huh.
and it took them a long time
Yeah.
to perfect this Reese's Pieces.
Right.
They finally did it.
Yeah.
And then they tested it out in focus groups, and it goes over pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they put it out to market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sluggish sales.
Yeah.
So enter, what was the studio? Was it Universal Studios?
Yeah. Right.
Universal Studios gives them a call,
Yeah.
Hershey's, and says, we are making a movie
Right.
about an alien
Yes.
who befriends a small boy.
Yes.
And we were going to use M&M's
Yes.
to have the boy lure this
Yeah.
alien to his house.
Right.
But Mars said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And they said,
Okay.
okay. So
Yeah.
they did the Reese's Pieces. And
Right.
if you know
Yeah.
E.T.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know Reese's Pieces, this is not news.
Right,
This
right.
was a big
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
And for $1 million, Hershey's got the licensing.
Right.
And their sales just
Yeah.
went through the roof.
Amazing. Isn't that, what a great story.
I know. And as a footnote or an epilogue, Mars deeply
Yeah.
regretted this.
Oops.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not just bringing this up because I love chocolate,
Yeah.
but there was an article in Variety this week that said there's going to be a movie
Yes.
made on this
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in next year.
Okay.
And, okay, so it's starring, I didn't know this gentleman, Finn Wittrock.
Yeah. Yeah. Whitrock?
Wittrock. Have
Okay.
you heard of him?
I have not.
Okay. Some of his credits were American Horror Story.
Okay.
But the other person who's going to be playing Milton's wife, Catherine,
Right.
Milton Hershey and Catherine Hershey, is Alexandria Daddario.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we have.
Was it White Lotus that
Yes.
she was on?
Yes.
Oh, and she had the, some would say, suspiciously bright blue eyes that really pop on the camera.
Right. And she gets more publicity, I think, for that than
Yeah, yeah.
anything. What is her real eye color?
Yeah.
And, they all just don't.
They are striking. I mean,
Right.
she's, obviously a very beautiful woman, and it's a great feature on her. But yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she and I could have a blue eye off.
Oh, you'd win. No way.
Okay.
You would win hands down. Okay.
That's weird.
So Rachel and I, just another footnote here. Rachel and I did actually visit the Hershey Museum in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Highly recommend it. I loved it. You get to learn a lot about them. They're known not only for the chocolate, but also for their philanthropy. They were really good. They gave back to the community.
Right.
A lot of really interesting, good feel stories.
Right.
But when we went to the Hershey Museum, they also have a chocolate school.
Okay.
Now, here's a time where I am an overachiever.
Okay. Okay.
And they put us in like Lucy and Ethel
Yeah.
garb. We had the aprons and
Right.
the
The hair
netting.
nets. Yeah.
But we created our own candy bar.
Okay.
Really fun. All right.
How did it sell?
Oh,
Did you get any movie offers?
I should have.
Okay. All right.
Sadly, no, but the chocolate was a good
All right.
prize.
Very.
Okay, so let's talk about a series that you like
Okay.
a lot, that you've kind of got me
Oh, yeah.
hooked on.
Sure.
And this is part of the Great Courses series.
Right.
John McWhorter.
Yes. So, I don't know, for some reason, years ago, I kind of got into this linguistics thing. I was reading books and stuff like that. And it was just an interesting topic. It's how languages arise and change and how they're connected and grammar. And, human beings are just these compulsive communicators. And so there's like, 6,000 or 7,000 distinct languages today. And so if you're into that, John McWhorter comes up because he's the linguistics professor at Columbia University,
Right.
and he's very engaging. He's if you're into that, he tells a great story about this, and so we were well deep into the different language families of Africa, and it
Right.
was interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And he makes it very accessible.
Right.
And he does a lot of pop culture
Right.
references.
Yep.
He talked about Dino from
Yep.
the Flintstones.
Exactly.
And then
Yes.
brought up a person that we have as had a topic in our podcast.
Yes.
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Amazing.
Yes. So this is when he's talking about the
Uralic language family
Right.
from the Ural Mountains, I guess.
Right. And examples are countries that speak this or their origins.
Right.
One of them is Finland.
Right.
One of them is Hungary.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that go into making it this language.
Right.
But two distinctions are the complex case system and the vowel harmony.
Yes. Okay.
And kind of a fancy way just to say that they if you have a
verb or a noun or something like that, a word for something, and it's multiple syllables, they prefer to kind of keep the same vowel sound throughout.
Right.
It's a quirk of the language.
Right. So if you have an A in a word, it's going to continue. You're not going to change it up.
So you're going to have you can have a ja, but you can never have a ja.
Okay.
So, welcome to my linguistics TED Talk.
You're great.
All right.
Okay. And so my relatives are Swedish.
But live in Finland.
They live in Finland. They speak Finnish, of course, and just like Jaja, they have that common bond of language.
Right.
But we did find when we were in the more remote areas of Finland, it was really hard to have any connection with the language.
It's
so different.
It is. Yeah.
So okay, but
all right.
Anyway, how are we doing on time?
I'll give you about 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. So I thought we would talk about the current status of the English lords.
Yes.
Because you are a lord.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yes. Sure.
You have the papers.
That's right. I have the pedigree. Yes.
You have the papers and a sticker.
That's right. Yeah. It's like the American Kennel Club.
Lord show.
Yeah.
So you're on your papers. It does say this is not a hereditary title.
Right.
So that means you can't vote in the House of Lords.
No. Darn it.
There was an article in the Telegraph, and this was just 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The current status of the House of Lords and hereditary
peerages.
Titles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they finished their fifth and final committee day of the Hereditary Peers Bill.
Okay.
And this is going to abolish the hereditary principle in the upper house.
The House of Lords is just going to be another house.
Right. And so in this article, the newspaper is speculating on what this will do.
Right.
Are they going to take away those titles of Lord and Lady?
Okay.
And if they do, they note a couple of things could happen.
Okay.
One is it won't have the same pull.
No.
You know, if you take the Lord and Lady away.
No, they're just schmucks.
Right. and it'd be harder for them to book a restaurant.
That's
Do you
right.
ever have that?
Yeah.
Do you use that weight of the Lord title?
I should have.
You should on Open Table.
Right.
When it says comments or extra considerations, I'm a Lord.
I'm a Lord, damn it.
And here's another thing. So the Telegraph, it's a UK newspaper.
Right.
I'm going to quote this. They say, without the Lord and Lady, Americans wouldn't get quite as excited.
This is true.
Kind of a shallow group.
It is, yeah.
All right. So
we will cop to that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and we've got what?
Okay, you got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, great. Because I also want to tell you hear it first at Barb's Tea Service, unless you check Variety or some online news. But 2 days ago, they announced that there's going to be a new Pride and Prejudice.
Aha.
Netflix is going to come out with a mini series.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, another one.
How fun.
We just finished doing the review of the 3 versions.
We're so timely.
We are.
All right.
And it's going to star Olivia Colman and Emma Corrin.
All right. Very good.
Both actresses from The Crown.
Excellent.
Okay. All right.
All right. Gotta cut you off here.
All right. So I think I hear that sound.
Okay.
All right. So I want to thank everyone on TV Studios. I want to thank Chris, my arm candy and co-host, studio engineer, and also remind everybody that we'll be posting the blogs that these are connected to.
Very good. Okay.
All right.
We're out.